All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. I am Matt Sabala with IAMS. I'm an annuity sales director here, and I am really, really excited about this webinar. If you've been on some of mine, I don't always say that, but the opportunity with this one is a phenomenal value proposition for our advisors that are contracted here at IAMS. We've got Michael Smith, president and co-founder of JourneyGuide, on the line with us. How are you doing this morning, Michael?
I'm doing well, Matt. Thank you.
Well, thanks for joining us. It's his first time with us here at IAMS, and this is really a phenomenal opportunity for our advisors. If any of you are aware of what we've been doing with Indexalizer and Kent Jackway, this ties into that. Normally, this program that we'll be talking about today is about $100 a month, and there are a lot of advisors who pay that. But you get both this program and Indexalizer for $25 a month if you're contracted with us. And they're both very, very phenomenal resources to our advisors. So I'm going to jump into what we always do here at the beginning of our broadcast, which is just the IAMS value prop. But I just wanted to set the foundation for what a great opportunity this is. So the first thing I'm going to talk about here is our new producer builders program. For those of you that are already contracted with IAMS, you may have used this. If you're newly contracted with us, then make sure you use this. And if you're not yet, this is a great opportunity to keep your sales funnel full and get a fast start with us here at IAMS. During your first 6 months of being contracted with us, you can reach different thresholds of production, starting at $100,000. Annuity business, if it's indexed, is dollar for dollar. To meet those thresholds, life insurance business is usually counted at around times 10, and MIGA business is counted at as half. But if you hit one of those thresholds, we can do things for you, starting with just a direct mail piece, all the way and including up to putting on 3 seminars for you. I have a couple of people that hit this level just recently, and their sales funnels for 2024 are already in the process of getting filled up to have an excellent first quarter, because both of them chose to do 3 seminars. And we're very, very good at getting quality clients to you with programs like that. Just like you guys, you know, the best client that we can get, of course, you're our clients, but the best client we can get is from a referral. So if you have the opportunity to refer somebody to us, if you think we're doing a good job with you in your practice, please let us know. We will reach out to whomever it is you want us to talk to, and we'll do great by them. But we will also thank you in a big way for that referral. We'll give you $50 once they're contracted, and then any time that they write business, we will pay you an override. And so you see there an indexed annuity, 20 basis points. If they write a $100,000 case, we're going to pay you $200. And so that is a great way to get paid on business that you help bring to us. And we write thousands and thousands of dollars checks every month based on these referral programs. Great way to kind of have an agency without having an agency, if that makes any sense. Takes some of that headache and that responsibility off your plate, and just allows us to do what we do, and we want to thank you for that relationship. We do 3 things, I think, really well, and I can speak from experience. I worked at the largest FMO in the nation for some time, and I've worked at other ones where kind of everybody branched out and started an FMO. I used to work at a place called Personalized Brokerage Services, and those guys started a bunch of the FMOs that you guys probably know. And so I've seen how back office support is with other organizations, and I think we do it as well or better than any place that I've seen. We have somebody assigned to each carrier that you may want to work with. They know the ins and outs of those carriers, and they will help follow your business from submission to commission. Michelle and her team on the life side, and Mackenzie and her team on the annuity side head that up. One of the ways to keep that process very efficient is through electronic submittal. If you don't know Firelight and you're not using it, you're doing yourself a disservice, I promise, because we could speed up the business that you're submitting, cut down on errors, and really expedite that business so you get paid quicker. Some carriers are incentivizing you to write electronically by giving you an additional spiff when you write business. Others are taking some of your commission when you don't use Firelight, so keep that in mind. It's easy to access on our website. It takes a couple clicks of a button to get you set up, and once you submit that business through our website, our team will automatically scrub it and try to cut down on changes that need to be made once it gets to the carrier. Let me, Matt Sabala, know if you need a walkthrough of how to get started with that, or your annuity or life sales director. Very, very simple. The small investment of time is well worth it to get familiar with that system. The second thing that I think we do really well, creative marketing. We have a team of people here in-house. All they do is focus in the financial advisor space, and we do everything from business cards and stationery all the way and including up to radio, TV, and everything in between. We do a lot of websites. We do a lot of social media optimization. If you find that you're getting first appointments, but you're not getting to that second appointment, and you don't have an online presence, that could be a major reason why. You need that credibility piece this day and age. But we do everything from successful marketing campaigns, all sorts of different stuff there, to what I've already talked about. We will do a full customized marketing analysis for you and your practice, and help put a plan in place for you to meet your goals in 2024 and build that out over several years so you're adding pieces to your marketing program over time. The honest truth is, if you're not spending a little money on marketing, you're not going to see the results that you want unless you really don't have bigger goals, I should say, and once you get to a point to where you can just solely work off referrals, and that's where we hope to get everybody, and reduce that standard deviation from 1 month to the next, then you're going to need some help with marketing. And we use the business that you're writing with us to help subsidize that. So we will help pay for it. If you're a producing agent, we absolutely will help pay for it. But schedule a time to talk through that comprehensive marketing analysis with us, and we'd be happy to sit down and do that with you. Your annuity or life sales director will help with that. Our website, I'm going to try and skim through this quickly, is full of all kinds of resources, everything from product resources that are built out under our sales resource library to things that you can print off and use in your practice to market to your clients and drip on people that you already have, maybe using email campaigns. We've got all that stuff already created. You can slap your logo and colors on it. Our creative team can help you do that. But there's also our annuity rate watch that's on our website and lots of other resources. If you haven't had a walkthrough of this and you want one, and I think you should because there's some really good stuff on there, again, let your annuity or life sales director know and we'll do that for you. Many of you are probably concerned about the changes coming down from the Department of Labor. We are too, and we're following it closely. Back in 2016, 2018, there was the real possibility that everybody who sold indexed annuities and life insurance to act as a fiduciary and hold a fiduciary license, like a 65 or 66 at the very least. Now we know that that's not going to be the case with the new changes, but there will be additional compliance required. I think the tool that we'll be talking about here today with Michael will be one of the resources that you can tap into, but certainly we want to help you keep compliant. IMS Wealth Management is one way to do that. Anytime that you need to have a conversation around securities and you don't have your license, our team will assist in those calls to keep those clients close and make sure you never lose a client because you aren't allowed to have that conversation. Or if you've got a client that wants to leave money in a growth bucket, we can help you do that. And if you want to earn your license, we're adding people all the time to that platform. A very, very flexible platform. Great guys over there. Let me know if you'd like to schedule an introduction there. In fact, we are going to do a couple of polls here today very quickly. And one of them is, would you like more information on IMS Wealth Management? I'm going to give just a couple of seconds to participate in this poll. So please vote. And if you do want to have that conversation, I'll let Duncan Smith know and we'll schedule a quick conversation for you. We'll just give this a couple more seconds, then we'll move on. All right. Thank you guys for voting. Really helps us help you. All right. The third thing I think we do extremely well, and I've seen training across the industry, is training. We do that, over the phone and in whatever capacity you need, we'll meet you at to help you get comfortable and reach the level that you're trying to reach. But we also do these life and annuity academies. It's a couple-day event. We fly you out. We pay for you the whole time you're out here. It's all inclusive, but it is not annuity and life 101. This is high-level stuff, best practices and sales concepts from producers at the very top of the industry who actually come out and help teach these classes. So if you would like to participate in that, the people that come away from it always have new things to implement in their practice to help them be more successful. And I would say at least 75, 80% of the people that go out to these events see an increase in sales because of what they take back from that. So if you would like to participate in our Life and Annuity Academy, our first one will likely be in April this year. Please let me know. We will get you the information to get qualified and where to register for that. We do require at least some level of production here with us at IAMS, and we will make sure that we do what it takes to help you get out to that. All right. I'm just about done here, Michael. But before I finish up, I want to quickly discuss our incentive trip. So we're wrapping up qualification here for our Seaside Sanctuary event in South Carolina. Really cool event. It kind of develops a fraternal sort of group that comes out at the events. About half of the people that qualify typically have been to other events of ours, and the other half are newer producers. But what you see is once people reach this level of success, they start to make it consistently to trips like this. We have this one that's wrapping up qualification, and then we will be doing another one here later this year where qualification runs through October, and that's going to require about $3 million in production to qualify. But we really, really hope to see you out there. It's a great opportunity to, again, share best practices with other top producers and just have a good time. Wouldn't be a presentation if I didn't ask you to like and follow us. So please do that on Facebook and LinkedIn, and we want to make sure that your clients can rave about you also. So if you don't have the capability of asking your clients to participate in your social media presence, let us know. We'll optimize that for you. It's very inexpensive, but again, that's one of those things you just kind of have to have. Whether you see the value in it or not, your clients do, I promise. So with that, I am going to change the presenter here. And here we go, Michael. I'm going to let you take it from here and look forward to what you have to say. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Matt. Maybe before I share my screen, I'll give just a little bit of background about myself and kind of what who we are as a company. So I actually spent 17 years at Goldman Sachs building trading system, portfolio management systems. Actually have a patent on some portfolio optimization techniques. And I was asked by the owner of a very large IMO to look at whether annuities actually fit into those strategies. At the time, being from Goldman, I couldn't even spell the word annuity. But what resulted from that analysis is what I'm going to show you today. And really thinking about, okay, how does an annuity fit within a plan? And it's just critical that you're kind of thinking in the mindset of a plan instead of just in isolation, instead of just thinking that product in isolation. And so that's why we started JourneyGuide. My other co-founder is an estate planning attorney who's been in the business for quite a while. And so the calculations are, second to none. But we wanted to focus on building a tool that is very, very simple, easy to use, where you can build a plan in minutes, as we say, minutes, not days. And so that's the idea behind JourneyGuide. So let me go ahead and share my screen and we'll go right into it. Okay. Now, Matt, just to confirm, are we good? Can you see my screen okay?
John and Susan Williams. Yes, I can.
Excellent. Excellent. So when you first log into the to JourneyGuide, this is what you would see. You'll actually see a listing of all of your clients, and then down below, opportunities, and that's a prospecting tool that we have, what we call a retirement readiness calculator. And I'll touch on that just at the end if we have time. But I want to get into the meat of the tool. So the first page, and this is just a sample client that we've entered. The first page is just some overview information, and let me just walk you through. So as you would expect, there's a bit of entry, but we try to make it, again, as simple and easy as possible. Only capturing the information that's absolutely necessary in order to build out a retirement plan. So the first page is about you, so name, whether they're employed or not, when they plan on retiring, and then how much they're expecting to spend in retirement. Now, this is just to be able to level set, kind of set a goal. If you don't know, that's okay. But that's just a way of, and you'll see this later on in the tool, where we can kind of get a comparison to what their expectations are. And then we have all kinds of defaults in terms of assumptions when they're going to be passing away, and you can change all of those, depending on the client. The next page, the second out of three, is investments and savings. And again, we tried to make this as easy as possible. We break it out by the type of account that it is. So his and her qualified, his and her Roth, and then non-qualified. And the balance, the asset mix. So we have a bunch of defaults here. We model 18 different asset classes and sub-asset classes. And you can create your own. That actually, like if you manage assets and that's a part of your business, then you can certainly create your own model portfolios. If not, it's fine to use our defaults. Most people just use our defaults. Are they contributing anything annually? And then what is the retirement asset mix and the mix in retirement? Typically, it'll be something other than what they have before retirement. And again, you can use just all of the defaults if necessary. Then the third and final page of entry is income and expenses. So at the top, you'll see Social Security. So what you'll want is your client, if your client actually has a statement, then you can put that amount here, whatever their FRA amount is. If not, that's okay. You can put what their last full-time wage happened to be, and we'll do the calculation. So we actually test this against the Social Security Administration's calculators. We are accurate to the dollar. And what we try to do is put the results in plain English for you and your client. Then this is another feature, I'll just touch on it very briefly. The Social Security Administration actually puts out a report every year, what their projections are as to how long Social Security will last. And so we incorporate that right into the software to be conservative. You can turn that off if you want. But the last report actually said that they'll start paying out only 77% of benefits starting in the year 2033. And so we take that into account, or again, you can turn it off. And then finally, this is where you can really start to make this entry, the case, look like the client. You can enter in as many income and expense items as you want. I would suggest that it's not really intended to be a budget tool. but rather kind of those large income or those large expenses like a mortgage. For income, you can see there's a lot of options here. If you don't see something, you can just put in other, but it allows you, like for this example, John worked at GE, he has a pension coming in $1,000 a month. There's a survivorship component. So you have the ability to enter all of that in. Again, go as detailed as you want, or you can keep it very high level. And that's it in terms of entry. So this brings us to our first page of results. So we call this "Where do I stand?" because this is the first snapshot to see, okay, how does this client actually compare to their goal? So they said that they wanted to spend $90,000 a year and in retirement, and that's in today's dollars, growing with inflation. Well, we run 5,000 Monte Carlo simulations. That's actually something that we take a lot of pride in, is our calculations. They're very unique, and it's actually doing a lot of the things that I did at Goldman, but kind of incorporating taxes into that calculation. So like other software, we'll tell you what the likelihood is. You have a 65% chance of meeting that need. Now, the problem is that not everybody thinks in terms of percentages. All right, some people do, but not everybody. And so, people get confused. Well, what does that mean? 65% of 90,000? And so what we decided to do is actually kind of turn our calculations on its head, kind of reverse engineer, so to speak, and say, okay, they have told us they want a very high confidence, a high degree of confidence that they're not going to run out of money before they run out of breath. So what we do is we actually turn that calculation on its head and say, okay, we're going to tell you how much you can spend in retirement after taxes in today's dollars. That number for this client is $74,400. Well, there's a gap, right? There's clearly a gap between how much we've determined that they can spend in retirement versus what their goal happens to be. That gap is $15,000. So what we do is we say, okay, and this is something that we talk a lot about, is that we want to focus on solutions, not sacrifices. Quite often people are told if you can't meet your goal, then you're going to have to work longer or you're going to have to save more, which may not necessarily be the case. And so we're going, as you know, if you work with annuities, having a guaranteed income stream can really take you very, very far down the road of addressing some of those concerns. So the first thing that we do is down at the bottom, you'll see just some hints, some ideas of, okay, maybe we can improve this a little bit by optimizing Social Security or adding protected income. And this is just a very generic annuity, kind of an average annuity. So what we're going to do though instead is going to explore options. And this is, we often call this the money page, because this is where you as an advisor can really show the value that you're bringing to your clients. So all of the changes that we're going to make here are all done in real time. We rerun our 5,000 simulations, again, very, very, very quickly. But you have to do that in order to give an accurate answer at the end that incorporates all of these into account. So what we're going to do is we're going to make changes over here on the left-hand side, and we're going to see the results on the right-hand side. So you can see this blue bar, that's what their current goal is, or their current plan, rather, is that they can spend $74,000 a year. They have a goal of 90,000. Well, as we make changes on the left-hand side here, this green bar is either going to go up or going to go down, depending on the change that we make. So for example, if we defer Social Security just by 1 year, we're rerunning all of our simulations, and you can see that, well, we've increased how much they can spend in retirement. It went from 74 to 76. It represented a 2% increase. And down here, you can see all of those graphs that are related to that new analysis. So I'm going to take that back to 63, and I'm going to add in an annuity. Now, Matt had mentioned Indexalizer. We work with Indexalizer to maintain all of our underlying product annuity data. So all of the rates, all of those are updated in real time. And so you can rest assured that everything is up to date. We work with each one of the carriers directly to model their products. And we actually run it through our Monte Carlo simulations. And so let me show you what that actually looks like here. So you can see the listing of the carriers that we're constantly adding carriers here. Let's just go ahead and add Allianz. Now I want to include a rider on this. And so I'm going to add the core income 7. And you can actually customize what shows up here. So if you're licensed only with a handful of carriers and products or carriers, then you can reduce that list through your own settings. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. So I've included core income 7. And down here, you can see a listing for each one of those strategies and riders. We're calculating, again, running through all of our simulations, how much guaranteed income will be, and we're representing that first year amount, what that first year average amount across our 5,000 simulations, and then also the average across the entire life of the plan holding that annuity. So for example, with core income 7, they have 2 riders, they have a level, and then they have one that offers an increasing income. So you can see that with the increasing income, it's actually the first year is a little bit less, but the average, because you have the opportunity of growth, the average is a bit more. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add in, let's choose actually the rising income, and I'm going to include the S&P 500, and let's also do the fixed strategy. So I'm going to do 75% into the S&P and then 25% into the fixed. So let me go ahead and add that annuity. By default, what we do is we include 20%, but you can change that amount. You can change what account it comes from. All of that is customizable. But again, we're trying to get you into this process quickly. So just by adding 20%, or really reallocating their assets into 20% into the annuity, we've now increased how much they can spend in retirement from 74 to 81, representing almost 9% increase in spending. If we scroll down, now you can see where that money is actually coming from in order to support that need. The green bars actually represent coming in from the annuity, and you can see that it actually is rising because of opportunity in the market. So the Social Security is listed here, their assets are listed here. Just gives you a visual to see, okay, where is all that money coming from? Now you can actually go into details, especially for, I'm sure some of you have engineering folks that are clients. And so you can go in and see a detailed cash flow if you wanted to. Again, you can go as detailed as you want, seeing where is that money coming from for each of their accounts. In fact, you can actually even drill into, you'll see this column on taxes. You can drill in and see to the level of detail that we're doing our calculations. We're running for all of our 5,000 simulations every year. We're calculating taxes to determine what ordinary income, capital gains, all of that to the degree that we can actually fill out a 1040. So that's the kind of level of detail that you have the opportunity to get visibility into, but you don't have to. You can still keep it very high level and say, okay, what's important to this client? Can they spend more? Do they have a better opportunity for success in meeting their goal? So oftentimes what people will do is they'll say, okay, well, we wanted to reallocate money into this annuity. But is that actually better off for my client? So we have this graph, and Matt touched on DOL and kind of this idea of best interest. And so, this is something that's very, very important to us. In fact, as I first started kind of looking at this, I thought, okay, I'm pulling money out of my assets into an annuity. I understand that if markets are really, really poor, yes, the annuity would make a lot of sense. But what's the trade-off? In other words, what if markets were really good? Would it have been better to actually be in the annuity or not in the annuity? Well, this graph actually tells that story. So I won't go into a lot of details on this, but essentially what we're showing here is that markets would have had to have performed in the top 15% in order for a client to not have been better off with the annuity. So in all of these other market conditions, from poor markets all the way up until the top 15%, they actually were better off having the annuity. This is showing best interest, that you're actually doing what's in the best interest of the client. So what we can do then finally is take a look at optimizing Social Security. They're taking Social Security early. Well, in this case, we actually want to defer Social Security out to age 70. And you can keep, trying different values here, but seeing, hey, if they actually defer, look at this. They're not actually taking on any sacrifices. They're not having to work longer. They're not having to save more. We've actually been able to help them reach their goal of $90,000, representing over 21% increase in how much they can spend in retirement. So next, what you can do once you've gone through this process, you can save the, I'll just say test. You can save and generate this. This has gone through FINRA. And what you can do is actually generate a PDF. You can select what slides that you want to include. You can, again, go as detailed as you want. But essentially, let me bring up the PDF. This is the report. So your name and your logo would be on the report. But essentially, it's going through all of the things that you talked about with your client and showing them, again, you can select which slides you wanted, but it gives them something that they can actually take home with. And then we record all of those, keep all of those reports so that you can access them later. Okay, so that is a very quick overview of the application itself. Let me talk just briefly about a couple of other additional features that we have that I think that you're really going to like. One is our prospecting tool. So what we call this the retirement readiness calculator. So if you click on generate calculator link, this allows you, so this is actually an HTML that you can put directly into your website or the URL that we list here. I'm going to go ahead and copy it and put it directly into the browser. And this is specific to your login. So a lot of people will do, campaigns like Facebook campaigns, or they'll include it in the signature of their email address as a way to, provide value even for prospects. So let me just quickly fill this out. Joe, and all you have to do is actually, it really is very, very quick. Let me go ahead and put their gender. I'll make something up. And then what state? Because we're calculating state taxes. Do you want to include your spouse? Let's not for this one. And I'm just going to put in some assets, and they're saving $1,000 a month. And that's it in terms of entry. So essentially what they do is they actually will see where do I stand. So this is very consistent with what we have within JourneyGuide itself. They get an answer, how much can they spend in retirement? And then a call to action. Okay, let's get together. And you can actually customize this where it would be your picture, your email address, schedule a meeting. Maybe you have Calendly. You can populate this with text. And then what happens, let me refresh the page. This shows up down here in your opportunities. So I had just entered Joe Smith. And let's say that you meet with this prospect and you can move that person right up to their client, and now it's a case. So it's a very quick way of actually kind of moving that prospect into actually building them a plan directly within JourneyGuide. So the last thing that I want to share with you is sharing. So we have the, you actually have the ability here to share a case with your team at IAMS. And so what you can do is on the right-hand side here, list of clients. So there's John and Susan Williams, for example. If I click on the share button, and look at that, I've actually shared it with Kent at Index Research Center. So what I've done is you can list out your connections. You can create a connection with somebody at IAMS. And what they would do is then they would see it directly within their version of JourneyGuide. And you can make it either read-only, you can give them full access. Almost always, people will do read-only and create scenarios, which means that they can't edit any of the information, kind of that basic information, but they can create scenarios and add in, say, an annuity, and then a time frame, and that's it. And so what will happen then is you can also then see all of the activity and who actually has made changes to that case. So it's really a great opportunity for you to kind of share the information quickly, back and forth with your team over at IAMS. So Matt, that is it. I went through it pretty quickly. I'm happy to go into any more detail if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, there are some questions, and thank you, Michael. I shouldn't say some. There are questions.
Okay.
Dennis Drake asked. Okay, now we've got a couple. But Dennis Drake asked, "What are the plans to add more annuities?"
So we actually, and we literally are working on this constantly. So we partner with carriers, and as typically the way the process works is that a request will come to us that we add. I know there's to add a new product. And so what we do then is, if it's a carrier that we're already working with, then we will go to that carrier. We work with their actuarial department to confirm all of the numbers, that we're actually modeling them correctly. Make sure that the Indexalizer folks are getting updates to rates so that they can go directly into JourneyGuide and make sure that those are all updated. And then it will be turned on. So the process, it can be pretty quick, depending on kind of the complexity of the product. But usually it's, the turnaround is, I would say within, a couple of weeks, is probably on average. But we can, certainly try to expedite as needed.
Courtney Davies said, this looks like an amazing tool, something she's been looking for. I agree. I love the simplicity of it and the ability to get much more in the weeds if you want, because some people do want that. But man, this is an easy tool to present to clients. She said, sounds expensive. Can you go through pricing? You want me to hit on that, or you want to, Michael?
Sure. No, you go ahead, Matt.
So Courtney, that's one of the reasons I'm most excited about this is this is $100 to most advisors if you were just to purchase it outright, and I think it's well worth that, $100 per month. But if you're contracted here at IMES, and I know you are, Courtney, then you get this and the Indexalizer tool that has really kind of caught fire here. And if you're not familiar with that, I will send out an email linking that webinar to everybody that's on this one. But you get both if you're contracted here at IMES, because we have a very good partnership with these two groups for $25 a month. And I don't know any other product or combination of products that gives you that value. So really, really good deal. Chris asked, does it do any life insurance needs or LTC needs analysis?
So it does. Let me actually show you how you can do that. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. You can, if you wanted to include, say, a long-term care event where you're pretty confident that, if there's a lot of history and you actually wanted to show what that long-term care event would be, even within their current plan, you can add an income or actually add an expense long-term care event. And who is it going to be on, the frequency, the amount. So you can enter that directly here. And then in Explore Options, what you would do is say add an income. Say you wanted to, if you actually purchase like an LTC product, then you can go ahead and include long-term care benefit here as well. So we're working on kind of a tighter integration, especially for those products like annuity products that already have, say, a long-term care rider. So that's something that we're working on. So this is, something where you have to add it on separate for now. But a lot of people will use this as that feature to kind of show, okay, the what if you have an event and the impact that it could have on your spending, trying to fund that yourselves versus, okay, and then including an LTC benefit. Now you did notice probably in here as well, life insurance proceeds. We don't actually have life insurance built in like we do annuities. However, you can include, the expense, the premium as an expense, and then any proceeds, like I was just showing there, as income. And so that certainly is something that you can do. It's just not built in quite the same as we do for annuities.
All right, I have a question.
Sure.
I have a question. As far I'm just laughing at Courtney's responses here in the questions. She's excited about it, and I am too. With regard to training, to get comfortable with the program, I have always recommended advisors take themselves through a scenario. But what's your recommendation for getting comfortable with the program?
Yeah, I think the obviously we're here to help you. I think the best way is, first of all, put in, what actually most people do is they put their own information in. So once you have access, put yourself in there as if you were a client. Kind of walk through the product, because nobody knows, your situation like you do. And so that's what a lot of people will do. But certainly you can just put in like a sample client. But getting in and actually starting to use it, we tried to build this in such a way that, we have little information like call outs all over the place, and you can expand to see more. But we also have videos. So under support, and here's our contact information right at the top. So you can call us, you can send us an email. We have a kind of a ticket system as well, lots of different ways to contact us. But we have a lot of videos as well. We have 2 different demo videos, one that's kind of more of a high level, and then one that's more comprehensive. And then for each one of the different sections, all of our charts and graphs, our annuities. So really there's, Roth conversion, long-term care insurance. So there's lots of different videos to get you going.
That's awesome, Michael. The value's there, the support is there. You guys seem like you've got it put together, and I know you're launching some new capabilities here pretty soon.
Yep.
I don't know if you want to talk about that, but
sure.
I don't see any more questions otherwise. Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, I was going to say, I guess since we have just a couple of minutes, maybe I'll just briefly mention it. So we have a new tool. It actually will be kind of tied into JourneyGuide. That's going to use a lot of the capabilities, the underlying calculations of JourneyGuide, but it is going to be streamlined. And really it's just limited information that you need to enter in. So you don't actually need to enter in a full case. It's really intended to be, well, we think that it's going to be addressing the DOL concerns that you had mentioned earlier, Matt, where thinking about, okay, what are all of those reasonable alternatives that because obviously there's a huge universe of potential products and investments that somebody can go into. And so what we're going to be doing is, depending on what the client's goals are, show what those alternatives happen to be. Then you can drill in and then give a very detailed analysis kind of within the tool, and then print it out where it's very kind of easy to read, like what we do in JourneyGuide. The calculations are complex, but we try to bubble it up and say, okay, are you better off actually including this product in your retirement? And so we're super excited about it. It's called JourneyGuide Living Illustration, JGLI, Jiggly for short. And so we'll be working with the IMS people here as we roll it out, and I'm sure we'll be having some webinars on it coming soon.
One more question, Michael. Thank you for that one. Robert Belosich asked, can you compare guaranteed income riders with market driven?
Yes. So guaranteed, I can go back into this case if we wanted to. So I had included an income rider here. We can go back and edit this and say, okay, let's say that we did not want to include, this annuity. In fact, you can kind of play with it and include this annuity and then include a different annuity that's more just focused on accumulation with, withdrawals, pulling money out of it yourself. But yeah, just to show you kind of what that looks like. I guess since I have Allianz here, I'll just include, say, the 222. Now you'll notice that this additional criteria, by default, it's collapsed, but you can expand it. And this is where you can enter in things like, okay, is it joint? Is it, what's the state? What's the amount? In this case, we said it was 20%, and we're pulling it from their qualified account. Because I did not include a rider here, what we're doing is we're giving the opportunity. You have to use this annuity for something. And so, eventually you're going to want to pull money out of it. So you could either, not pull any money and just assume that the full amount that's in that annuity when the plan ends will just dump back into their account that they came from. Or you can withdraw, say, 10% a year or 5% a year, whatever that amount is, kind of a from and to ages here. And then also dealing with RMDs, where are RMDs coming from? And let me go ahead and, so you'll notice that the columns changed here a little bit. Because since I did not include a rider, we're actually showing you for each one of these strategies, all of our 5,000 simulations and what's the geometric mean or compound annual growth rate, including that particular strategy. And so you can look at poor market returns, average market returns are good, of those 5,000. So let me go ahead and include, I'll just do the BUDB, 100% into it. And you can see in this case, it actually didn't perform quite as well as the income rider. Still obviously an increase. And here is money coming out of that annuity where we were just pulling out, I forget what I said, 5%. So does that answer your question?
Well, he can't respond, but yeah, we don't have it set up for everybody to voice in, but Robert says yes. There, he did respond. Thanks, Robert.
Great.
All right. Well, Michael, I'm impressed. I am, like I was telling you before, we were just kind of discussing going through this because this is our first time with JourneyGuide. I'm excited at the opportunity that you guys present our agents and their clients. I hope I hope we can get the word out because I think people on the webinar see the value in it. We've definitely seen some engagement that gets me excited. So I don't have any more questions for you now, but if people do have questions, what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, so they certainly can, email us. I think I showed it there briefly. Contact. Let me just go changes. So, they can either reach us at. We also have another email address, sales@journeyguideplanning.com. Or the phone number. If you're interested in signing up for this, and Matt, we didn't really talk about the process of this, but in order to get the deal through kind of the Indexalizer program, what you would do is actually go to the Indexalizer, and I'm not sure if you've posted kind of how they can sign up for Indexalizer. But the way that it works is that you actually end up paying Indexalizer, and then we bill Indexalizer separately. And so, but when you sign up for Indexalizer, there is there's a button there that says, sign up for JourneyGuide, and you fill out a little form there, kind of just who you are, what the company name, that type of thing, just some contact information, and then that gets sent over to us, and we'll reach out to you. So I don't know if that made sense, Matt, or not, or if you're familiar with kind of the sign-up process with Indexalizer, that you could help folks, but that's the way that we set it up.
Okay. And so for those of you that are interested, I will send out instructions for that. It may be later today, it may be tomorrow. I'm sorry, got kind of a stacked day today, but I will get to it as soon as possible. And your annuity sales director can also assist with that. Although this is the start of our relationship here with JourneyGuide, so even your annuity sales director, this is going to be a new process for. So I apologize if we're a little bit slow on the uptake here, but we will get more efficient with it, and we'll help you get signed up if you would like. Indexalizer is a great tool as well. The value you get here is just phenomenal, like I said. So if there are no more questions, and I don't see, oh, wait. Yeah, no more questions that I see. But we will go ahead and end this webinar for today, and please feel free to reach out to myself or Michael, and we will get you guys going with both tools. So thank you so much. We'll see you on the next webinar, and I will reach out to any of you who said you were interested and make sure you have the information to get going. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
All right, you guys take care.